Day 12
Day 12.
of geometry. It is the 4th week. That means we're halfway done with geometry. Like, that's insane. So, well, almost halfway. We are 3/8 of the way done, officially. So, Unit 1, practice quiz. Our first question says to measure the line segment in inches and then construct the perpendicular bisector. Now, on this question in particular, I am going to be picky about your inches. I want you to measure it to the nearest 16th of an inch, okay? So, that means if you're using a wooden ruler, you need to not use a wooden ruler because they don't have the 16th marks. You'll need to use a plastic one. So make sure you've got one of those. If not, let me know. And we're going to just line our ruler up and see where it falls. Oh, yeah, let's see. Okay, so here's where it's showing. I'm going to turn this light off because of the glare. Well, that didn't help at all. Okay. See that. Okay, so I see, you said you got 13/16?
Yep.
Or 1 13/16?
1 is 13.
Okay, I bet you that's right. Let's double check. So I see here is my 1 inch. There is my 2 inches. I'm not quite to 2 inches. And I'm just going to count backwards from 2. In an inch, there are 16 sixteenths. So if I go back 1, I'm at 15 sixteenths. If I go back 2, I'm at 14. Oops, I marked that too far away. 14 sixteenths. So if I go back 3, you are correct, Michael. We have 13 sixteenths of an inch. So the way that we would write our answer is 1 and 13/16 inches. Okay, and I am going to be looking for your units. That is important. That's our answer. 1 and 13/16 of an inch. Is anyone confused about how we figured that out? If you are, let me know. We can talk about it again. Everybody okay with it? Okay, perfect. Let's do our perpendicular bisector. We'll need our compasses for this. These little guys. Okay. Now, remember, this is your practice quiz, so if you need to make a little guide or write notes on this, you will be able to use it on the quiz. So, write what you need. Where is my starting point whenever I want to construct a perpendicular bisector? Yeah, I'm going to pick one of my end points. So I'm going to start on my lower end point. And how big should my compass be open?
Well, greater than half.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than halfway. So where mine is now is just about perfect. So I'm going to make sure that my point is on there, and I'm going to zoom out just to kind of help everybody see the motion we're doing. These are tricky. We are starting with our point here, and we're going to create an arc. Goes, oh my goodness, all the way around. Like a half circle. Okay, there's my first arc. Right? Where should my second starting point be?
The other end.
Yep, the other end. We're just doing the exact same thing. Now, what is something we need to be careful about with our compass when we make the second arc?
Make sure it's the same.
Yes, you need to make sure your compass is open at the exact same size. If I open it up too big, it is not going to cut my line perfectly in half. It won't be a perpendicular bisector. So if you think that you've lost your side, like I accidentally bumped it, it opened up too big. Just remember, all you gotta do is put it back on that end point and close your compass until it's touching the first arc you made. Now I know I'm at the right measurement. So I'm just gonna flip to the other end point and create another arc. Now, when I create that second arc, what do I have to have happen?
Be intersecting.
Yes, they have to be intersecting. If my circles do not cross each other, my arcs, then that means I've messed something up and I either need to open my compass bigger, I need to check and make sure I did it the same size. So we're going to make sure that we have these two intersections. That is important. And what would our final step be? Yes.
Draw a line.
We're going to draw a line between our two intersections. Like this. Okay. Now, this is important, and I want you guys to pay attention closely because you'll lose points if you don't do this precisely. Okay? What are the two things that I need to put on this bisector to indicate that it is indeed a perpendicular bisector? Yes, I need the little box to show that I made a right angle.
And you need the slash mark.
Yes, I need my little slash marks, my little tick marks. And what do those tick marks tell me?
Equal.
Yeah, perfect. This is like, it labels congruence. It means that these segments are equal to each other. So you have to label it. So off to the side, we can make a little checklist. And you don't have to write this, but I think it's helpful. The first thing that I'm looking for on your line is that you have both arcs. Okay? The second thing I'm looking for on your line is that your bisector is crossing through the points you made as perfectly as you can. The third thing that I'm looking for is the box. That is important. Hi, Matt. We're taking the practice quiz today. If you want to grab one, there's some on that wooden table, and we really just got started on the first question. And last but not least, the other thing I am looking for on number 1 is that you have tick marks. Those 4 things have to be present. If not, you won't get all your points. Yes.
So do I need to do like on both sides, the constructors, so I only did on one side?
What do you mean?
Like I only did the constructions, the intersection on one side instead of both sides.
Oh, yes, you do have to have it on both sides. You do, because that second point is what makes sure that it is perpendicular. Now, I guess you could use your protractor to make sure it's perpendicular, but the point of the construction is that we don't need the compass, or not the compass. My gosh, I can't keep those words straight. Is that you don't need the semicircle, the protractor. It's doing it just with the compass. So, yes, it is important to have both intersections. Good question. Now, the other thing is, let's say you don't have arcs going all the way across. I'm okay even if you just mark the intersection. All you actually need is where they're crossing. That's okay with me. If you're able to, kind of guesstimate where they're going to cross, you can do that. Now, you're going to have a little more luck if you're feeling unsure doing the whole semicircles, but you don't have to have the semicircles, okay? Any questions on number 1? Okay. And we need, for number 1, a ruler, compass. Just writing that so that you know. Number 2. Measure the angle to the nearest degree. What tool are we using here?
Protractor.
Protractor. Good. We're using the protractor. That's the half circle. Okay. Now, let me get my protractor out. Okay, so when I am measuring an angle, what am I lining up and where? What should I be careful of?
That's that
Yes.
hole on the interstate.
Yeah, so the hole in my protractor, where should that line up with?
The birthday.
The vertex. Okay, so is that good?
No,
Okay, what do I need to fix?
line it with the bottom line.
Yes, I need my 0 to line up with this line on my angle. Okay. Now, looks like, and this is just to the nearest degree. So is it closest to 130 degrees, 50, 150, or 40?
Very
130.
Let's see. Now, 130, that would be an obtuse angle, wouldn't
I
it?
put
You're reading the
50.
wrong one. We need to read the outer one.
50.
Wrong.
So guys, in most of our angles, we've had them opening from the right side where we would use the inside numbers. But this time, we're starting from here. I know. And so we need to also just think about what makes sense. We know a 90-degree angle is straight up and down.
Right.
Does this look bigger than 90?
No.
No, it's little. It's a little angle.
So it's 50
So
degrees.
it's 50 degrees.
Okay.
It's closest to 50. It's not
Okay.
exactly 50.
But it's close to
It's
it.
very close though.
Mhm.
So number 2, your answer is C, 50. You could just color it in, circle it. I mean, you could label it. You don't have to. I'm not making sure you do. If you don't, you don't lose points. But 50 would be your answer for number 2. So just be careful. If it helps to have a little guide, you know,
Mhm.
remember, this is 90. This is bigger.
Oh my.
This is smaller. You know, if that helps, do it. Whatever helps. All right. Can we go to page 2?
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay. Woo, more construction. The angle bisector. Yes. Okay. Where do I start?
At the vertex,
Vertex. Very good.
make a small one.
Yeah, and we're gonna make a little arc.
Arc.
Now, this one, I know I have been directing you to make it less than half. However, even if you make it huge, it will still work. I always tell you to make it small just so it doesn't run all the way off the page. But this one should be fine. I just make sure that it's not outside of your arrows. So we're gonna just start by making an arc, and I'm gonna hold this still and turn my page because that feels easier to me. Here's my arc. That's the first step. And I'm actually gonna outline it so you guys can see it better because that pencil's really light. Okay. It's my first step. And when we made that first arc, what else did we create?
Point. I mean, what's it called? The dots. Where the arc meets the
Yes, intersections.
intersection.
We have created
Two intersections.
2 intersections. And what do those intersections kind of give us?
Where we're going to put our next points.
Yes.
Mark that.
That is our next points. Now, whenever you start your next points, luckily the angle bisector is a little more forgiving on whether you have your compass opened up the exact same amount as your arc. But what are the 2 arcs that have to be made at the same width?
The 2 intersections.
Yes, the next 2 that we make, the one that starts from this intersection here and the one that starts from this intersection here. The ones that are creating the intersection in the middle have to be open at the same length or else your angle bisector is going to be all wonky and it will not be a bisector. So I'm just going to open it up like this. And where should this arc be? Inside my angle or outside?
inside your angle.
Inside. There we go. I like to give myself plenty of space. And here's where we have to be careful. Doing the next arc, make sure your compass is open the same width, the same angle, the same measure. That way you're getting it even. So I'm going to put it on my other point here, and I just need enough for it to cross through. Okay. What we just created there is another intersection. So I'm going to mark that. And what is my final step?
Connect the vertex.
Yes,
The
I'm connecting
vertex
the
is-
vertex with that last intersection that we just created. Perfect. There we go. So, when I am grading your quiz, these are the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for, first of all, that first arc. I'm looking for, second of all, that these are intersecting in the middle. And third of all, I'm looking to see that your bisector itself goes through that intersection. Okay? So, maybe having this checklist will help you remember how to make it too. Here's our guide. Any questions on number 3? You guys finish making those, and as you do, if you're having any issues getting it to look right, just shout at me, and I'm going to pause this for a moment before we go on to the next section. So on these, I know I didn't give you a ton of space. If you need scrap paper, that's not the worst idea. Definitely not a bad idea if you would like. I'm going to try to fit it all on here though. We'll see. So let's look at number 4. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm going to because it helps me. I'm going to just label these as A and B. Now, what is the total measure of this big angle being created? 180 degrees. Perfect. So what equation can I write about A, B, and 180?
Plus 12, plus 147 equals 180.
Yes. So what you just did is A plus B equals 180. And then we just replaced A and B with the numbers they gave us, which you were able to do that in your head. Awesome. So I'm just going to write X plus 12. And you said plus 147?
Yeah.
Perfect. Plus 147 equals 180. Okay. Now, normally we would be combining like terms and then subtracting, but I was working with a few students on Friday, and they showed another method that also works. If you don't like having to remember when you're allowed to add them together, when you have to do the opposite, all of that, you can just stick to always doing the opposite by subtracting 12 from both sides and then subtracting 147 from both sides.
Oh,
You can do it that way, or you could combine like terms and then do opposite to solve. So whichever method you prefer, they're both correct ways of doing it. So what would we like to do here to start solving this?
Find 147 and 12.
Yeah, so I have 12 plus 147. What does that give us? 100 or 59. Yep, 159. Bring everything down. X plus 159 equals 180.
159 from 180.
Perfect. Then we're gonna subtract 159. Both sides.
Actually equal.
X equals, you said 21?
21.
21. All right, and I'm giving you guys a break. Notice the directions just say to find the value of X. You don't have to then plug it in, and you don't have to solve for the missing angle measures. I just want you to find X. Okay. All right, any questions on number 4? All right, let's look at number 5. This one's pretty crazy looking. Yeah, but all that is it's angles around a point. And when you have angles that go from the starting point all the way around and they complete a full rotation, 360. Yes, yes. So if this is A, B, and C, what happens when I do A plus B plus C?
360.
It equals 360. So just as a guide, I'm going to write that on top. A plus B plus C equals 360. Okay. So using this guide equation, what should I write for my equation?
Minus 116. Plus 43.
Perfect. Plus 43
27.
plus 287
Equals 360.
equals 360. Amazing. What'd you say, Matt?
Sorry, talking to myself.
Oh, you're okay. You're all right. Okay. So before we start solving this, does anyone have any confusion about where we got this equation, or do we all feel good about it?
How do you know which one is A, B, and C again?
You can pick. Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
okay,
Because, yes, so there's a special property in addition called the commutative property. You don't need to know that, but it is something that says when we are adding 3 things together, we can do it in any order and you'll get the same answer. So it doesn't matter if you make this A and this B and this C, you'll get the same answer. The only reason I made the one with X A is because I like to have my X as far away from everything else as possible just to keep it separated. Yes.
All right.
All right. So what should we do here? Combine my terms. That's all right. I can tell us what you were saying. So let's do these one step at a time because it's really easy to mess it up when we have pluses and minuses here. So I'm going to do the addition first. 43 plus 287. How about that? What is 43 plus 287?
330.
Yes, 330. And what else do we have?
X minus 116.
Yeah, we still have X minus 116 plus 330 equals 360. Okay, what else do we need to combine?
Negative.
Yeah, we have negative 116 or minus 116 and 330. So we can do 330 minus 116, or if it feels more comfortable to type in negative 116 plus 330, that's the same thing, exact same thing. So tell me what you get when you combine those two.
214.
I did to get that is took my answer of 330 and I subtracted 116 since we have minus 116 here.
I have plugged it all in at one time.
And you can do that too, absolutely. If you don't want to do it one at a time, you can do negative 116 plus 43 plus 287 and you'll get 214 just the same.
Oh yeah, X plus 214.
Yes, X plus 214 equals 360. And before we finish the problem, is anybody unsure how we got to this point?
Did the plus come, okay. Did the plus come from right there in the middle with the plus 330? And right
So
right
the
there?
reason that we wrote, do you mean like why did we write x plus
Yes,
214?
yes.
So the reason we did that is because when we did 330 minus 116 or negative 116 plus 330, we get a positive 214. So that plus sign, I like to think of it like an and sign.
Okay,
It's like x and we have 214.
you're right, all right.
Yes,
all
we would
right.
only make it minus if it was a negative.
All right, all right.
Okay, do we have any more like terms to combine?
Well,
No. So what do we do?
subtract 214
Yes.
from both sides.
Now we're doing the opposite. Minus 214.
90.
Equals 146.
146.
Yes. X equals 146. Awesome. All right. Let's look at number 6. Anybody still need that work? Can I move it? Okay.
I'm done.
All right, I'm gonna do the same thing here, and I think I'm gonna switch colors just so I don't mix it up with the other problems. Makes it easier to look at later. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one is which. I'd like my x to come first, so I'm gonna call this A. 5x I'm gonna call A, and then 140 I'm gonna call B. How are A and B related to each other?
They're the
They're
same angle.
They're the same angle. They are the same. What are these angles called?
Transversal, parallel lines.
Ooh, so the transversal is this line going through. I actually don't think that I wrote a note about this one for you guys. I think we just said it verbally. So that's on me. This is the transversal. These are the parallel lines. These are called corresponding angles.
Thinking about common.
Well, I'm just.
Yes, so here I'll write that in case you want to have it in your notes. Corresponding angles. That's what these are. Okay, so what equation can I write using A and B?
Okay. 6.
Yeah, number 6.
140 plus 5 equals 180.
Let's see, I know that 140 degrees, since these are the same, is 140 plus 140 going to give us 180?
No.
It won't. We don't know what these angles are going to add up to.
5x,
Technically we do, but
5x plus 140 equals 180.
5x equals 140.
there it is.
What?
Corresponding angles equal to each other. We don't know what they add up to unless we know the angle measures. So I'm going to write here A equals B. Remember, if angles are equal, if they have the same number of arcs, I give you that hint too. They both have one arc. They're equal. So we're going to write 5x equals 140. Yep, that's all we do. We just divide by 5.
Okay.
It's tricky. Now, I'm gonna give you before we solve this, I'm just having like an ADHD moment. If you wanted to have an angle that added up to 180, you could do whatever this angle is. We call that like C. B plus C is 180, right? Because they make a straight line. We don't know that these don't create a straight line. A and B don't. We just know they're equal to each other. So we got 5x equals 140. We divided by 5. And what's that give us for x?
28.
X equals 28.
Miss Taylor, I'm sorry. Could you please Could you please play this one more time? They just gave me a message about my kids. No,
No problem. That's all right. Here, let me pause
Yes,
it.
Jesus.
That's okay. Here.
Ooh, thank
Okay. Let's look at number 7 now. I'm gonna call my bottom angle with the X in it, my angle A, and my top one, 152, call that angle B. How are these angles related to each other?
They're the
They
same.
are vertically opposite. These are vertical angles. So what do we know about vertical angles?
They're the same.
They're the same, they're equal. So what equation can I write?
B.
Yes, A equals B, same as number
Like
6. And what would I write with all my numbers and variables?
Plus 2 equals 152.
Perfect. 10x plus 2 equals 152. How did I solve this?
Subtract 2 from that.
Subtract 2, back to the basics. Good. And what's that gonna give us?
10x equals 150.
Perfect. 10x equals 150.
And you do
10.
Yes, divide by 10.
15.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Right. I think these, they all start making sense. The more you do them, it's
They
like,
do.
okay, I know this. Okay, so then we get x equals,
15.
yeah, here's a trick. Whenever you have numbers being divided with zeros at the end, you don't have to type this in. Look, I can just cross off the zeros. 15 over 1 is 15. It's a little trick. But if you want to be super extra sure, it's never a bad idea to plug it in and check on your calculator just in case. Okay, that is our second page. It's number 7. Can I flip to the next page? All right. We got some more. Here we go.
Let's go.
Whew. All right, number 8. What kind of angles are these? How are they related?
Supplementary.
Yes. These are supplementary angles. So what does that mean? What?
They're 180 degrees.
Yes, there is a straight line being created. So they add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to make 5x plus 1 my A. I'll make 69 my B. So what would my equation be?
A plus B equals 180.
Yes, A plus B equals 180. Okay. So we've got that. Now what's my real equation gonna be?
5x plus 1
Mm-hmm.
plus 69 equals 180.
Yes, 5x plus 1 plus B, which is 69, equals 180. Perfect.
Combine like terms.
Yep, let's combine our like terms.
69 and 1.
Yes, we have 69 and 1.
So the new equation will be 5x plus 70 equals 180.
Perfect. 5x plus 70 equals 180.
Subtract 70 from both sides of the equation.
Yes.
The equal sign
Subtract 70.
gives 5x equals 120.
Perfect. We get 5x equals 110. Okay, let's let everybody get there. So now that we have 5x equals 110, what is the last step?
Divide.
Yes. Divide by 5 on both sides.
X equals 22.
X equals, you said 22?
Yeah.
22. Amazing. Everybody got number 8? Perfect. Let's look at number 9. Here's another tricky one. Angles around a point. Again,
It's a 360 degree.
yes,
Okay.
yes, 360.
Alright.
So I'm gonna call, I don't know, 4x will be A, x will be B, 116 will be my C. Now, what equation can I write using A, B, and C?
A plus B plus C equals 360.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys, yes. A plus B plus C equals 360. That's perfect. Oh. Now what's my real equation gonna be?
4x plus, okay, go ahead.
4x plus x. Well, 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can write x or we can write 1x. Both are correct.
Alright, plus 116.
Yes.
Equals 360.
Yes. Perfect. 4x plus 116 is 360. And what do we do now?
Combine terms.
Combine like terms. Now this is one where you can't subtract x. You got to put them together. Okay. So, yep. 4x plus 1x is 5x
Plus 16.
plus
116.
116 equals 360. Your good old simple two-step equation.
Ooh, we're gonna be subtracted 116.
Yes.
360. Okay.
Minus 116.
Minus.
244, is that what you said?
Yes.
Perfect. 244. And it looks like we're going to get a decimal in our answer, but that's okay. What's our last step?
5x.
Divide
Yes.
by 5.
Divide by 5 on both sides. Yes. We're going to get x equals 48.8. Perfect. Perfect. All right. I think we just have 2 more. That's it. And then the bonus.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the bonus.
Yeah, something I haven't taught you. Something I never
Oh, you
taught
haven't
you.
taught. Okay, because I'm like
Yes.
looking at my notes like, what is going
No,
on?
I didn't teach you. It's new. But I think once I explain it, you'll be like, okay, that's easy. All
So
right.
it was number 10, like number 6.
Number 10, like number 6. Let's see.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
alright. Awesome sauce.
All right. So number 10, if 6x plus 4 is A and 94 is B,
Set them equal to each other.
set them equal. A equals B. So 6x plus 4 equals 94. Everybody cool with that?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Now you subtract 4 from both sides.
Subtract 4.
6x equals 90.
6x equals 90.
You divide.
And we divide by 6.
15.
X equals 15. Amazing. Okay, last one. Y'all ready for it? Anybody need a quick second? Awesome. Okay. So, we have, I don't know, I'm going to just label them backwards. A, B,
Supplementary angle.
So, yes, what's happening here? You said, say it again.
This is a supplementary angle, so it's 180.
Supplementary. Yes, these add up to 180 degrees. Now, normally we're just doing 2 together to get 180. This is no different other than there's one more angle to add. So, what would my equation be using A, B, C, and 180?
A plus B plus C equals 180.
Yes, A plus B plus C equals 180. Okay, so let's plug our values in. What's our equation gonna look like now?
2x plus 20 plus 3x plus 1 plus 89 equals 180.
Yes. Another big one. It's a big one, but you guys can do it. So we've got our big old equation written out. What should we do next?
Like to.
Combine like terms. You want to mess with the x's or the
nine,
non-x's?
The non-x, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we've got 20, what else?
89 and 1,
Yeah.
90 plus 20,
Yeah, so 89 plus 1 is 90, plus 20 is,
110,
yep, 110.
3x plus 2x equals 5x.
3x plus 2x is 5x.
Plus sign.
Plus 110. 180. Now, we did a bunch of combining all in one step really quickly. Does anyone want me to break it down a little?
They put everything down. I see.
Yes, so we did 1 plus 89 to get 90. And then I just drew a line from 20 to 90. I did 90 plus 20 gets me 110. And then the 2x plus 3x is 5x. And then I just brought down my equals 180. And here, maybe it would help to, I'll do like circles and lines. That way we've got some differentiation there. Okay, and we're back to a two-step equation. Back to the basics.
Back from 10 from both sides.
Yes. Subtract 110.
5x equals 70.
So 5x equals 180 minus 110, that's 70, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Divide
last
by 5.
step, just divide by 5.
14.
Oh,
X
yeah.
equals 14.
Oh, yeah. 14. X equals 14. You guys, we took the whole thing. That's amazing. Okay, now I'm going to try to speed run. I know you got to leave in just a second, Matt. So if anybody needs the rest of this, I will flip back to it in a minute. But I do want to go over the bonus before anybody has to leave. So here's the bonus. It's on the back. This is optional. And no, I have never taught you this, but I'm going to teach it to you now. So it says draw a picture of a line segment AC. All that means, if you have two letters with a line over it, is that one of the endpoints is labeled A, the other endpoint is labeled C. So let's start by drawing that. A line segment AC. So here's a line segment, and I'm going to put points on it and call them A, C. Okay, step 1 done. Then it says with a midpoint B. What do you think that means?
The middle, the halfway point between A and C.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be super specific about that. Just somewhere in the middle, there's a point, and it's labeled B. Now, if a point is in the middle, perfectly in the middle, what do we know about the length of A to B?
They're equal.
Yes, A to B is equal to B to C. So, how can we show that these are equal? They're the same.
So the flashes.
With our little dashes, yes. You need those dashes. Okay? So,
When it comes to it, we're actually going to measure midpoint, though. We're not just going to guess the B.
yes.
Okay.
For this quiz, we're just guessing. We
Oh,
are going to
okay.
learn how to find the midpoint, though.
Oh, okay.
That's like something we'll actually do. Now, here's the rest of the question. We've got our picture drawn. Done. That's one bonus point right there. Okay? Next, I have given you some values. From A to B, it's 3x plus 10. So let's label it. 3x plus 10. Okay? From B to C, x plus 2.
Equals to each other.
Yeah.
Equals to.
So, to get all your bonus points, there's 4 things we need to find. We need to solve for x. We need to find the length of AB. BC, guess what? You're going to find that as soon as you have AB, it's the same as BC. These are equal to each other. And then from A to C, you're just going to add those two together. So first of all, what is the equation that I need to write to find x?
3x plus 10 equal.
Yes.
Yeah, plus B.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
really what's happening here is AB equals BC. And we're just replacing that with the values they gave us. Here's AB, here's BC. Right? So the equation we write is 3x plus 10 then what do I write? I've got 3x plus 10.
Equals that
Yes,
plus B.
equals x plus 2. Good. Okay. How do I solve for x? I got x's on both sides of my equation.
Combine them.
We need to combine them. Now, what is different about combining the x's here since they are on opposite sides of our equal sign?
Inverse operation.
Yes, we can't just say, okay, I see 3x, I see 1x, that's 4x. They're not on the same side. We need to either subtract 3x from both sides or subtract x from both sides. So which one do we want to do?
Subtract x.
I think subtracting x would be the better option.
Because you'll have a negative.
Yes, we don't want to end up with a negative variable. It'll add more work at the end. So minus x on both sides. My x's cancel. And I'm left with 2x plus 10 equals 2. Okay.
Subtract 10.
Yep, subtract 10.
Both sides give you negative 2x equals negative 8.
2x equals negative 8. And last but not least,
Divide 2 by 2, cancel out 4.
yes.
X equals -4.
X
Equals 4.
equals, we have negative 8 divided by positive 2. It will be negative 4. Okay, now, whenever you find your other values, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get answers that don't make sense, and that's because I didn't double check the equations on here. It's okay if you come up with a negative answer, but in the real world, that is not possible. Okay, you cannot have a negative link. So, x equals -4. Now, we know AB is equal to BC. So do I need to plug x into both of these equations or can I just
No.
pick one?
Just one.
Okay, so which one looks easier?
The x plus 2.
Yeah, let's do x plus 2. So x is 4, -4 plus 2. What's that going to give us?
Negative 2.
Yes, -2. And AB and BC are the same, so
Negative 2.
also -2. And how do we find the length from A to C?
Add them together, which is, what? -2 plus -2, -4.
Yep, -4. Good. Again, these don't make any sense in the real world, but they make sense in the context of the equations I gave you. That's all that matters.
And this is just the bonus. This is it.
This is just a bonus. If you decide I don't want to do this, that's great. You don't have to.
doing it.
That,
Yeah, I'm
you
gonna
have
have to
to.
try it.
Yeah, it's worth a try because if you get it wrong, it doesn't
Yeah.
count against you.
What kind of bonus are we having today? I mean, sorry.
Exit ticket?
Yeah, what kind of?
It is this.
This
This
right
is
here.
your exit ticket.
Right here.
So, you can just keep it for now and put it in your folder. You'll turn it into me when you take your quiz tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Okay.
But that's it, guys. You're free to go unless you want to stay. You're welcome to.
I hope I'm not speeding up the class. 'Cause I'm not.
It's okay.
Okay, I'm.
It's all good.
That person.
So it actually worked out great. I know last week, like we went pretty fast, but then that left us with a ton of time for anyone that wanted like slower help.
Yeah.
And then I could give more like
Talking about last
individualized,
week
you
or
know?
something.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I feel like that was
Well, I don't feel
helpful.
too awful about this.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
Good. I know, I'm excited. You guys all seem like you know it.
I don't feel about this at all.
Okay. Okay, well, people watching online, that's it. Goodbye.
Bye,
The
people.
end.
Goodbye, folks.
See ya.